In terms of the characteristics of sound, there are three main parameters: pitch, loudness, and quality. Last time we talked of pitch. In this lecture, we talk of loudness and quality. What is loudness? Well, it is very subjective in nature, depends on the sensitivity of the listener as well. But the scientific measure is called intensity that can be measured. It is not subjective. So, what is the unit of sound level? You might have heard about this. This is called dB or decibel. Then we will move on to a very interesting point, that is, you have the same pitch of two sounds, the same loudness, and yet you know that they are different. For example, a boy and a girl are singing the same note, same pitch, same loudness, but you can make out that this is a boy's voice and this is a girl's voice. Or a sitar and a flute playing the same note together, you can make out this is sitar, that is flute, and so on. So, what is it that makes that sound different? It is the frequency content of that sound, and that we called quality. So quality depends on the frequency content of the sound, and that implies waveform. Welcome to the portals of real learning. Don't skip and listen carefully right till the end. Last time we talked about pitch of the sound, which was related to the frequency. Today we'll talk about two other characteristics of sound, which is loudness and quality. What is loudness? It is a property by which a loud sound can be distinguished from a faint one, given that the two other characteristics, that is the pitch and the quality, are the same. Keeping the frequency same, that is the pitch same, and the quality same, we'll talk of quality later. Keeping these two parameters same, loudness is that characteristic that helps us to distinguish between a loud sound and a faint sound. For example, a whisper is a faint sound, a shout is a loud sound. A tuning fork struck softly on a rubber pad will give a faint sound. If you strike it strongly, it will give a loud sound. Now, on the cathode ray oscilloscope, we can clearly make out what is loud, what is soft. The loud sound can be distinguished as one having a larger amplitude. So you see here, this loud one, the yellow one, has got a larger amplitude. Amplitude means the maximum displacement from the equilibrium or mean position. So this is the mean position. And this much is the amplitude for a loud sound. For a faint sound, it will be a smaller amplitude. So you can make that out very clearly. Frequency is the same. Keeping the pitch and the quality same, it is the amplitude that would distinguish the loudness. Now, the intensity of a sound is proportional to square of the amplitude for the same frequency. So loudness does depend on intensity, but they are not the same thing. And what is intensity? Intensity is energy that is falling per second, that is per unit time, on a unit area. So energy by time is power. So intensity is power by area. That is a measurable and scientific quantity. Loudness is a subjective one. So loudness and intensity are related, but they are not the same thing. It is a sensation. Loudness is a sensation in our ear, whereas intensity is a measurable quantity. Loudness is subjective, intensity is objective. Now, Weber and Fechner established a relationship between loudness and intensity, where L was the loudness level, which was related to the intensity but not linearly. It was log to the base 10 of the intensity I, and K was some constant. So, yes, indeed, if you increase the intensity, loudness would increase, but not by the same amount. It is not in the same proportion. So, as I said, intensity at any point in the medium is the amount of energy passing per second perpendicularly through a unit area. So, that is power by area. Power is watt and area is square meter. So, the unit would be watts per square meter. The minimum audible intensity by the human ear has been measured to be 10 to the power minus 12 watt per square meter. And normal sound intensity when you're talking in a room, it is nearly 10 to the power minus 5. watt per square meter, that is 10 microwatt per square meter. Now, intensity is proportional to the square of the amplitude, it is proportional to square of the frequency, and also it is proportional to the density of the air. Intensity is a measurable quantity, how much power is crossing a unit area. So that is linked to the amplitude, it is linked to the frequency, and also it is related to the density of the medium. And loudness and intensity are related also, but in a logarithmic fashion. You see, loudness depends on the energy that is conveyed by the wave, sound wave, near the eardrum of the listener. It is a sensation that is perceived by the listener. It's a perception. Now, two people are not exactly same in their perception of sound. It depends, the loudness would depend on the sensitivity of the listener. Of course, the loudness depends on the amplitude. So you create a sound with a certain amplitude and a certain frequency. How is it perceived by the listener? And how is it perceived by two different listeners? That is what he will say as how loud the sound is. Now, the sensitivity of a human ear also depends on the frequency. As you know, we have an audible range of frequency 20 hertz to 20,000 kilohertz, rather 20,000 hertz or 20 kilohertz. 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz is the audible range of frequencies. Beyond this range, we can't hear. The sound may be entering our ears, but we can't hear. Our ears are not sensitive. The human ear is most sensitive to 1 kilohertz frequency. That is a normal human ear. But every ear differs from another, you see. So, two sounds of the same loudness and different frequencies will be perceived as different loudness. Why? The loudness level, which relates to the amplitude, is the same. Now, that particular human ear is sensitive to different frequencies. For one frequency, it is more sensitive. So, that kind of sound will be perceived to be louder. It depends on the sensitivity. Further, if we have the same intensity and the same frequency, same loudness, it will be perceived as different by two different listeners because of their sensitivity. So, what are the factors affecting the loudness of sound? Larger the amplitude, more the loudness. That is how it is created, first of all. How is the sound created at the source? What is the amplitude that would decide the loudness? Then, how far is a listener? Larger the distance, less the loudness, because loudness is inversely proportional to the square of the distance. As you go far away, the loudness decreases, inversely proportional to the square of the distance. Third, larger the size of the vibrating body, more the loudness, because it is, more mass is vibrating, so there's more energy in it. Density affects the intensity, so that also affects the loudness. And another thing is the resonance. If the resonance is happening, then the loudness is increased. Briefly, what is resonance? Any body has got its own natural frequency by which it can oscillate. If there's another applied frequency which is exactly equal to the natural frequency, then this body will start vibrating with a very large amplitude. So, resonance occurring means amplitude goes up to a very high degree and hence loudness increases. So, these are the factors affecting the loudness of sound. Now, let's talk of quality. It is that characteristic which helps us to distinguish what kind of source is producing that sound. For example, a sitar and a violin, suppose they're producing the same note, say sa, we can make out that this sound is from sitar and that sound is from the violin. Same note. Sitar goes tung tung tung, sa only, tung 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 tung, whereas violin goes same note, but we can make out. So what's the difference between the two? Likewise, a man and a woman singing the same note, you can make out which is a male voice, which is a female voice. What is the difference? The difference is quality. And what is quality? Quality, or timbre, it is also called. It is that characteristic that distinguishes two sounds of the same loudness and the same pitch, but emitted by two different instruments or two different persons. So, what is the issue here? No note that we produce, even while singing, is pure, completely pure. That is a single frequency. It is not a single frequency, ever. The note sa has got a particular frequency, say 240 hertz. When you sing sa, then that 240 hertz is the most dominant frequency. That particular frequency has the largest amplitude, but there are other frequencies also present simultaneously. What you hear is the most dominant frequency. The presence of other frequencies decides the quality of the sound. Okay, so which means we are talking of frequency content. You can make out even between two male voices that they are two different people speaking. For example, Amitabh Bachchan and Sachin Tendulkar. If you talk about their voices, Amitabh Bachchan's voice is very bass, and Sachin you can make out it's not bass at all. You can make out. So what's the difference? It is the frequency content in their sounds. That depends on their voice box and so many other things. A woman's voice, for example, has got more high frequency content, and therefore, if you look at that particular sound on the cathode ray oscilloscope, you will have different waveforms. Quality depends on the waveform. Let me show you some examples. Suppose I have this white one which is dominant and it has got a frequency F. Frequency F means it's got a certain time period up till here, okay? The F is equal to 1 by T. There is another frequency, the yellow one, which is twice F. You know, there are two such wavelengths included in the same time. So that frequency is 2F, but that amplitude of the 2F is smaller. The dominant one is F. If these are the two frequencies present, what is the net waveform? At any point you add up the two amplitudes, you will get this red one, approximately. Suppose in the second case, I have the dominant one is still F. What is present is F by 2, that is this yellow one. Then the red one is different. I just shown a very simple example, but in real life, what we see is that there are many, many different frequencies present with different amplitudes. That is why you have that characteristic quality of that sound. Okay. So, like here, this sine wave is a pure frequency, a single frequency is a sine wave. The waveform below is triangular, but it has the same dominant frequency. You can see at this line, there is one time period being covered. So the dominant frequency is the same for the triangular one, but the triangular one contains many other frequencies. There is a very nice theorem called Fourier theorem, which says that any periodic function can be expressed. Any periodic function, be it a triangle, be it a square. Suppose I have a square wave like this, that is also periodic. Any periodic function can be expressed as a combination of several sinusoidal functions of different frequencies, amplitudes, and there's another thing called phase. Any periodic function can be expressed as a combination of many sinusoidal functions of different frequencies, different amplitudes, and different phases also. So this triangular wave that you have will be equal to some sinusoidal frequencies. What are those frequencies present? At what amplitudes and what phases, that will decide the shape of the waveform and therefore the quality of the sound. A tuning fork generates a nearly a pure sound, a single frequency, but from piano, same dominant frequency, so same time period, you see, it is repeating like this, same time period, it is repeating. But the waveform of piano is different. With the same dominant frequency, there are other frequencies present, therefore the shape becomes like this. So quality of a musical sound depends on the number of subsidiary notes present, that is the additional frequencies, along with the principal note and their relative magnitudes. Right? The principal or fundamental or dominant one has the highest amplitude. That is why we call it dominant. But there are other secondary frequencies also present with lower amplitudes. So pitch, loudness, and quality. Finally, music versus noise. Music is a pleasant, continuous, uniform sound produced by regular and periodic vibrations like flute, violin, guitar, veena, etc. Usually soft, 10 to 30 decibels in loudness. And they have principal and subsidiary notes. So the waveform may look something like this, but noise is this irregular succession of disturbances. Irregular, not regular. Discontinuous, discordant, unpleasant, and usually loud of the order of 120. Decibels is a measure of loudness levels. At this level, you don't need to worry about what is decibel, but just be aware that decibel is a unit of loudness level or sound level. So just to put things in perspective, music versus noise. Music is pleasant, smooth, and agreeable to the ear. Noise is harsh, discordant, and not at all pleasurable to the ear. Music is produced by those vibrations that are periodic, but noise is produced by irregular succession of disturbances. In music, all component waves are similar without any sudden change in amplitude or wavelength. But in the case of noise, component waves change their character suddenly and are of short duration. Change their character suddenly and are of short duration. The waveform is regular, here the waveform is irregular, and the sound level is low, the sound level here is high. Example sound produced by musical instruments, example sound produced by an aeroplane or a cracker, those kind of things. So pitch, loudness, quality is what are the three characteristics of any sound. A sound wave has a frequency of 2 kilohertz and wavelength of 35 centimeter. How long will it take to travel 1.5 kilometer? How much time it will take? For that, we need to know the speed. The speed is frequency into wavelength, f lambda. F is 2 kilohertz, that is 2000 hertz. Wavelength is 35 centimeter, that is 0.35 meters in SI units. So I get 700 meters per second is the speed of sound. Therefore, time taken is the distance by the speed. Distance is 1500 meters and the speed is 700 meters per second. Therefore, 2.14 seconds. Speed is equal to frequency into wavelength, speed of the wave. Next, calculate the wavelength of a sound wave whose frequency is 220 Hz and speed is 440 meters per second. We apply the same formula V equal to F lambda. So lambda is V by F. V is given to be 440 and F is going to be 220. So lambda is 2 meters. Simple. Finally, a person is listening to a tone of 500 Hz. That a tone is a single frequency. A tone is a single frequency. A note is many frequencies with one dominant frequency. A person is listening to a tone of 500 Hz and he is at a distance of 400 meters from the source of sound. What is the time interval between successive compressions from the source? As you know, when sound travels in air, it is longitudinal. So it creates compression pulses, then rarefaction, then again compression, then rarefaction, then again compression. And this pattern travels, right? So if you're sitting at a certain point, you have received one particular compression. The next compression is going to reach you after some time. How much time? Now, if you recall, what was wavelength we talked about? Wavelength is the distance traveled by the wave in one oscillation of the particle. That means a compression pulse will reach you after exactly capital T seconds, where capital T is the time period. So, what is the time period is what he's asking. That is 1 upon F, 1 upon 500. This distance that they've given, that's not relevant. Frequency is given, time period is 1 upon frequency, right? So we end the session here, and in the next one, we'll talk about wave speed.